Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be providing a longer term market analysis update for Filecoin. We're going to talk about the most recent reaction off of these range lows and the support at $2.30, which we saw hold as support for 2 years in the last market cycle. We'll talk about some areas of resistance to watch out for, as well as Filecoin's performance against Bitcoin by looking at the FIL Bitcoin ratio, and ultimately what I see on this pair and how that translates into the chart on FIL USD pair. So if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, I will leave a link to my Twitter page in the description below. Feel free to go ahead and check that out as well. I am fairly active over there with crypto content. So with Filecoin, we really talked about in the last video this key and major level of support ranging from $2.30 to $2.60, which was the range lows and the support that held from February of 2019 all the way until March of 2020, really just forming this longer term rounded base where we saw that act as support time and time again. And we discussed this in the last video where we essentially said I did not expect us to slice right down through this level and that we might see a reaction off of that zone. So here is just a little bit of context again from that previous video where we discussed Filecoin at these range lows. So given the historical significance of this level, right around $2.30 to $2.60, this is a very strong area of support for Filecoin, and it's a region where I would expect some sort of reaction, potentially a bounce of people trying to step in at the longer term support. Maybe that takes us back up to this trend line. So we definitely have seen that move back up into this downward sloping trend line that we talked about, where we had the lower highs form off of every few months, just coming up into that zone. And we're getting more and more frequent retests again coming up to this level. And this is the first time where we're really starting to break above this trend line. If I zoom in here, you can see the weekly candles already pushing back above it. So overall, that's a pretty positive sign. And again, it's really nothing other than a reaction off of what I would consider to be one of the most important levels for Filecoin. And if I zoom in here to a daily time frame, I really do want to talk about some levels of resistance where we might start to see a slowdown in this uptrend that we formed, really with this bounce coming up around 60% in just the last month. So the first level I will be watching out for as resistance is this zone right around $4. And you can see clearly that we had very strong support hold from November up until middle of December. So we had multiple retests just holding this level, and then eventually that big capitulation candle back down, taking Filecoin down about 26% on the day. You know, we're just kind of filling up that inefficiency. This was a very inefficient, quick move where we saw little price action spent in this entire range. And this is just some sort of reaction coming back up to that first little sign that we had before the big crash. So I would expect a retest of that level at $4 at the very least. And if Filecoin can break out above that level, then we can probably see this rally continue where we might start to target some of these lower highs like the one right here in November, right around $6.50, and then ultimately the range highs at $7.80. So just as an illustration of what we could potentially expect, if we come up to this level, we might have a sharp rejection, but if we don't and we can reclaim it, then I would expect a retest coming up all the way to that high from November at $6.50, mainly because, again, there's not much in between these two levels. You can see that move down was pretty inefficient as well, where we corrected by about 40% in just about 4 days. So these really fast moves tend to get filled back up pretty quickly. So I would expect that if Filecoin can reclaim this level at $4. Not saying that has to happen, but I do expect if we can break out above that level, that to be the next level of resistance. And when I go back here to the weekly time frame, once again, the final target of the resistance at the range highs would be $7.80. That was really just where we saw the upside capped on this rounding off bottom. We had a retest right here in July of 2018, acted as resistance, more resistance in June of 2019, and then eventually we had that breakout. And once Filecoin was able to break out above that, that really concluded this accumulation phase, and we saw the bull run really kick off and give us a much quicker rate of change to the upside, where we basically just had this parabolic-like move. So those are the levels to be watching out for Filecoin on the USD pair. On the FIL Bitcoin pair, really we've just got this move coming back down to make a new all-time low, and we've had this little deviation here where we took out the low from back here in the summer, where we're coming back above that level and we're just reclaiming this. So ultimately, you do want to see some fall through. If we come back down and retest this as support, that would be a positive sign as well. And I would target this level around 40,000 Satoshis if we can see a positive and convincing reclaim of this level. And again, I'm not convinced as of just yet because we really only have one weekly candle close above this region, and there certainly is the possibility that this is just another lower high and we continue coming back down below this. So really, whether or not we hold this level of support right around 18,000 Satoshis, the range low and the support from May, will determine my outlook on this chart into the next few months. So if we don't see that hold as support, I really just see a continuation of this downtrend. And if I just draw this trend line going through the middle points, you can see how quickly we could just have a fall through move coming back down to form a new all-time low, which is not something you want to see. Again, doesn't have to happen, but really just depends on how we react to this support at 18,000 Satoshis. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out my Twitter page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.